I found an indie Puerto Rican pattern designer from the island, and it's Hispanic Heritage Month, so you know I'm combining the two. Let's talk a bit about it. I'm Madi with Madi Sews, and welcome back. First, if you've been hanging out with me here, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your support. And if you're new, welcome. I hope that we continue hanging out together. So in this video, I wanted to talk a bit about Sirena Patterns and, well, of course, Hispanic Heritage Month, which is between September 15th and October 15th. So I'm Puerto Rican, and for me, I really kind of wanted to talk about a Puerto Rican pattern maker. And so I felt really lucky when I found Sirena Patterns online. Actually, I found her on Instagram. Another person had posted about, some swimsuits that they had made from her. And I thought, oh man, perfect. I need to reach out. And so I did. I picked up a couple of her patterns and I was gifted the Wanda dolmen top, which I'm wearing right now. So I'll show you some pictures of that so we can talk a bit about it. This top came together really quickly. I mean, it was 3 pieces tops: the front, the back, and the neckband. And I did it all on my serger. Well, except for the hemming part, which I did on my regular sewing machine with like a zigzag stitch. Some of the things that I did to this pattern to make it different in my own was I went in and I shortened the top by 5 inches. I really have a short waist, so I shortened the top, and then I also added the faux leather sequin down the middle. And I'll just show you another picture here so you can get a better look at that. To add the sequin piece, it was super simple. All I did was I cut a 3-inch piece of the sequin material that I wanted. I folded in the edges and I top stitched along the edges and the bottom as well. I did make sure that the sequin stopped 1/2 inch at the bottom before the actual fabric itself ended, because I didn't want to flip over the sequin and have that scratching my belly. And the reason why I decided to keep the leather sequin in the middle of the shirt the way I did is because it really doesn't stretch at all. And this pattern requires a stretchy fabric. And so I felt that if I kept it small enough and in the middle, it really wasn't going to affect the fit of the shirt. And I think I was right on that. This top is a winner. I'm really loving it, and it's gonna get a lot of wear throughout fall and winter, I'm sure. And by the way, I'm gonna put all of the links down below in the description box so that you can find her and find the patterns and all of that good stuff. So I picked up 2 different patterns here. So the first pattern that I purchased from her was the Sharon. And this is an 80s inspired swimsuit. It has a really low back. It's a 1-piece. A low back, a scooped out front, high leg holes with like medium coverage in the back. So, you can get a little booty cheek action going on. I'm really kind of seeing myself on a beach next summer wearing one of these, reversible. Which I think she has a hack for on her blog. I'm really excited about making that. This one is a harem jumpsuit. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that, but there it is. And she made it in a nice light and flowy fabric. This one does require stretch as well, so I'm thinking I'm going to make this one for next summer as well. The reason why I left this pattern last was because it's called the Taina, and I really want to discuss with you the Taino Indians that inhabited Puerto Rico. All right, everyone, so the Tainos actually inhabited parts of the Caribbean, Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, those islands around that area. And their tribes were actually named after the land that they lived on. And in Puerto Rico, that was the Borinquen. So we had the Borinquen tribe in Puerto Rico. The Tainos were actually a peaceful tribe, but were thought to be extinct because, when Christopher Columbus came over to the island, he enslaved them, introduced new diseases, and the population was decimated. In fact, I remember telling people that I had Taino roots. You know, I have all these stories about how my great-grandmother was a Taino Indian, and they were like, impossible. You know, like the Tainos are extinct. And to me, it never really sat right. Well, what's really interesting is back in 2018, so roughly 2 years ago, there was a 1,000-year-old tooth that was discovered in a cave in the Bahamas. And so what they did was they took the DNA from that tooth, which was from a woman who lived roughly 500 years before Christopher Columbus, and compared it to a bunch of people in Puerto Rico, like from the island. And they discovered that a lot of people shared the DNA. I mean, that's really cool because that tells you that there is genetic continuity with the Tainos, right? Like, their bloodlines have made it down into the current day, which is a great confirmation for so many people who've been told that their ancestry that they believed in didn't exist. So when they looked at the DNA of the people that are currently living on the island, what they realized was that there are people who like have a nice little mixture of 3 different races going on. They had Tainos who had intermarried with Spaniards and quote unquote assimilated, and the descendants of those people, of those children, ended up intermarrying with Africans who were brought over as slaves to the island. And all of that intermingling is the reason why when you go to the island, you see white-skinned, red-haired Puerto Ricans, and then you see your Afro-Latinos with their gorgeous dark skin and curly hair. I mean, we're beautiful people and we're all different colors, and this is the reason why. And also, that intermingling is what created the Creole culture that exists today on the island. If you've ever had arroz con gandules or rice and beans, that came from the Creole culture that was developed as a result of all of the intermingling of these races. How cool is that? And it's super delicious. If you haven't tried it, you need to. Okay, so that's a little bit about Sirena Patterns from Puerto Rico, as well as a little bit about my Puerto Rican culture and the Tainos that lived on the island. If you enjoyed this video and you learned a thing or two, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing and hitting that bell so that you know when the next video is up. I plan on doing a couple of Puerto Rico themed Hispanic Heritage Month type of videos coming up, and when the next one comes up, you'll know. All right, well, until then, thank you for joining me as always, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.